My name is Orion, and I'm here to demo Affinder. So imagine I'm a developer for a conversational assistant, and maybe this conversational assistant has something like a use case where users are going to ask it, "Hey, conversational assistant, can you tell me open spaces where it'd be nice to play or throw a frisbee in my area?" And while a simpler query like, "Hey, can you tell me where the nearest park is quite easy. More difficult is these types of high level, more conceptually rich ideas like open spaces to play. Now, a finder helps construct a context detector for representing this. Um, Now, while, like I said, there won't be a context detector for open spaces, a finder does try to help map that concept to available context features, which can actually be used, like playgrounds. As I'm reading through this list, I imagine playgrounds makes me think of like grassy outdoor areas. Um, but interestingly, and I'd expect parks too on this list down here. Um, But one thing that surprised me here actually is that badminton courts, which are located in wide open spaces like a gym, would maybe also be good to toss or play indoors. I could imagine playing dodgeball or other sports in an open area indoors. So this concept of open spaces to play kind of breaks down into maybe an outdoor or indoor kind of space. I'm going to select a couple of these, down select, um, that might be relevant, and I'm going to combine these categories to represent something that represents open spaces. Now, parks, I wonder what kind of other parks there are. A finder helps with this to make sure we're not missing anything. It supports recognition over recall. We do have skate parks, but dog parks we don't have. Which is another type of park. Places to go ski, no. Oh, and it surfaces other things like basketball courts, similar as the badminton area. I can select basketball court so I don't forget that. Um, Now, a finder in this recall helps you make sure you grab places that you would have otherwise missed. I'm seeing beaches here, which is a really relevant place that people would throw a frisbee and has a lot of open area. So I'm going to start constructing this concept now that that's kind of clear to me. This concept, which is open spaces to play, maybe outdoors. So I'm going to remove that badminton and insert beaches here. And let's check this out. Let's make this concept variable and name the concept variable open spaces outdoors to play. And assign this little construction, intermediate construction, to this concept. In addition, right, we had these indoor spaces, so let's create a concept variable for that, since that was a good idea that emerged during construction. Stitch these together, basketball courts and badminton. And we'll assign this construction, this intermediate construction, to indoor spaces to play. Open indoor spaces to play. So as we've seen, Finder supports some of these things. And as I'm thinking about frisbees, maybe I realized too that, oh, wow, there's actually other features outside of just place categories like weather and time of day. And for at least the outdoor activities, weather might make a difference. Places to throw a frisbee need to be not windy, right? And other places, you don't want it to be disruptive. So we could, I forgot about this one, so this is indoor spaces to play. We could think about a construction like places to play out could include places that are outdoors and not windy. So open spaces outdoors to play that are not windy, or indoor places to play. Affinder supports this opportunistic construction process by going from reasoning about these high-level ideas and really refining and making more clear what we mean by open spaces to play or throw a frisbee. Now, one thing that is in future work for Affinder is being able to refine these concept detectors or concept expressions to really work in the real world. So remember our original query, what is a nice open space to play to throw a frisbee in my area? You might realize that we have really no clue based on these place categories if these are actually frequent categories that they would actually be helpful to find real places in a city, let's say in Evanston. And so one thing that could be nice is to be able to simulate these types of concept expressions in geographical areas or in certain test cases to kind of understand if these representations are truly what we had imagined. Recall that badminton was a context feature that made us think about indoor spaces to play. But if you look at badminton places near Evanston, there's only kind of two. And in fact, badminton as a category isn't even represented in this business called the Evanston Badminton Club. It's really just labeled a sports club. So with this type of understanding, we'd like simulations to reflect a way for creators like ourselves to refine the concept expressions or even reveal problems with the context feature, the underlying context features themselves. That's really all I had. But if you take away something like badminton, we can check out that other context features like beaches or parks are a lot more spread out, and there's good coverage of these features across the area we're interested in. Okay, thanks.